in general, if you notice anything to do with where she's doing something that's potentially a sign of discomfort, then what you need to do is to create more comfort. And how do you do that? You FTC. Like, as I see that, I would be saying things like, I actually have to get going in a second, okay, because that creates more comfort. You can also disqualify and say, you'd actually make a great friend, and then you keep talking. Again, it's just doing things that create more comfort. It's also you physically taking a step back. So you can do those things to create more comfort. That's one thing. And another thing, if you think that the discomfort came in when there was the age cold read, then potentially swap out your cold reads early on, because again, there's no issues with dating super younger women, but the issue is more, how do they perceive it? And maybe if you bring it up very early, maybe they thinking like, are you uncomfortable with it? Should they be uncomfortable? So maybe just swap it out. There's a million things to cold read on, ethnicity, job, hobbies. So that's just something to keep in mind. It's not that it's just if you see a pattern, but overall, if you can do those. What you basically didn't do much to try technically establish more comfort. Take a step back, FTC, FDQ, false disqualifier. And also, if you're sensing a real big discomfort thing, like where she's actually physically taking a step back, then at that point, I might even call it out, and I might even say, I noticed you might be a little bit uncomfortable. I might be making you nervous. You can even make a joke about it, like, you can't try kiss me or anything, so there's no need to be nervous. And then she might then make a comment on why she's actually uncomfortable. So generally, it's always good to call it out in a humorous way, like, whoa, I can see you taking a step back. It looks like you're about to whatever. I thought you were going to trip and fall and break a leg. You can always make a joke about it. The goal is, hopefully after that comment, she basically says something on why she's actually uncomfortable. So if I notice a big discomfort, then I'll call it out in a humorous way. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, that's great, mate. That's a real
Yeah.
help. Yeah, I think I think it's because I kind of get a shock. I'm like, oh, she's just got uncomfortable. Run away, rather than try and fix the problem, right?
Yes, exactly. So usually small signs of discomfort. Well, anyway, I would probably do those little things. You take a step back, you FTC, and then keep talking. Maybe break eye contact at that moment to just take away some of the tension. But then also call it out in a humorous way. You never want to. The reason to call it out in a humorous way is not to make it even more awkward and uncomfortable. You might have to be creative, or you can just, because obviously she's always going to be doing something different. Every girl's doing something different. But if every girl's taking a step back, then you can kind of come up with your own comfort building routine. Like, you almost broke your leg there, taking a step back, whatever.
No, it's a good tip, because I think, comfort building can be a shortcoming of mine, not building enough. Not FTCing. That's something I noticed when we were in Barcelona with you, is that, you're constantly rooting and FTCing, and it's just,
Yes.